This is crazy. I've never had this happen with a reading. Did you have somebody here in this world who was struck by lightning?
I had a neighbor that was struck by lightning like 3 times.
Your neighbor was struck by lightning 3 times? Hi, Lorna. How are you?
Hi.
Where are you guys from?
Richland, Washington.
Okay, so I have a couple of different souls that are here. First of all, your father passed?
Yes.
Okay, so know that he's here. Also, when I'm connecting, who passed to the suicide? He showed me he shot himself in the head.
David?
He stood behind you. I saw him put a gun up to his head and he said to me, this is how I died. He's saying to me when I'm connected, he's saying, I'm sorry now, I'm sorry. But he goes to me, Matt, I had a very tough life here in this world. He says, and I'm not here to make excuses. He says, but what I am here to say is that I wish I never did this. Because the moment that he died, he showed me all the people that loved him, that cared about him, and all the people that came through for him. He says, and Matt, he goes, the one thing is that I didn't know about that here in this world. This is crazy that he's stepping forward right now. Because you know that he actually tells me that before he had died, he says, Matt, he goes, I was going through so many emotional issues. It wasn't just the emotions. He tells me about the fact that he did things that he wasn't proud of. And he shows me about him having some issues with addictions when I'm connecting with him. He's showing me when I'm connecting with him fighting with his family. And he actually shows me that he was going from house to house. He was living with different people. And then he shows me, Matt, he goes, I actually took my life. He says, and I did this in a fit of rage because I was the person, he goes, I was always going. He says, I'm blaming everybody else. He says, when I should have blamed myself. He says, and Matt, he goes, I just want to step forward to let them know that not only am I okay, but also, he says, I wish that I would have taken a look around me. He goes, I know everybody that was trying to help me. I know that how much that they cared about me. And that's what I need them to know now. And that I am truly sorry. I know that your dad is also there as well. Because one thing that your father just said to me goes, Matt, he goes, I got to let her know. He says that I wish that I would have gotten to tell her how much that I loved and cared about her more here in this world. He says, Matt, if I could spend one day with her, it would be to tell her how much that I love her. Because when I'm connecting with your father, you know, I got to be honest with you. This was a man who always suffered with his health here in this world. And even though your dad would try to make it seem like there was nothing wrong, he shows me that there were all of these internal issues that he was being faced with. Yeah, I also, when I'm connecting with your dad, I keep smelling this tobacco smell when I'm connecting with him.
Yeah, he was a smoker, a heavy smoker.
So know that anytime that you smell that, that's his way of letting you know that he's there. And that's you sensing and feeling his presence around you. Oh, and wait a minute. There's one other thing. This is crazy. I've never had this happen with a reading. Did you have somebody here in this world who was struck by lightning?
I had a neighbor that was struck by lightning like 3 times.
Your neighbor was struck by lightning 3 times?
They lived on the top of a building, and I used to carry their groceries upstairs for them.
Is that how he got struck on top of the building?
Yeah.
Shut the hell up. And he died.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about that. I never know what the soul's going to tell me. I've never had it happen, but he goes to me, goes, Matt, I need to step forward. I was struck by lightning and I survived. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know if what I was hearing was true. I mean, that's so rare. I've never met a soul like that because that neighbor of yours is stepping forward and your father is here as well. And you know that your dad wants to thank you for everything that you did for him before he died. Your dad shows me that the two of you were so close here in the physical world. He goes, and Matt, my son was literally my best friend. Your dad's also pointing to your hat. He tells me you have hats of his.
I do have a hat that says, yeah.
He says to me, he goes, Matt, he goes, let him know that I see that he kept his hat. And your dad's going, what the hell are you doing with this beard, by the way? Your dad goes, you never had that, Matt. He goes, and now all of a sudden he's got this beard. He goes, he looks like a friggin' caveman. He says, tell him to clean himself up. But that was your father. Do you understand that? Like he always used to tease you here in this world.
All the time.
Your father used to love to eat here in this world when I'm connecting with him.
Yeah.
Because on the other side, he's making himself like a cheesesteak sandwich when I'm connecting with him.
Oh my God, you made the best steak sandwiches ever.
He showed me, he goes, Matt, he goes, tell my son, he goes, that nothing's changed with me. And here's your dad, he's got the torpedo roll out, and he's showing me he's got this steak that he's shaving, and your dad's like, look at how beautiful this is. Wow. So know that that's his way of acknowledging in spirit that not only is he okay, he says, but he wants you to remember him the way that he was before he got sick. At the end, he tells me about how hard it was because literally you had to drop everything when your dad got sick. He tells me at one point, he couldn't even get up. He tells me he couldn't walk anymore before he had died.
I had to help him out in the bathtub, yeah.
He shows me you on the side of him and literally like carrying your dad. He says to me that he wants to let you know that on the other side, he can walk, he can move, and he is fine. He says, and Matt, more importantly, he says, please let my son know, he says that I am there with him. He's also talking about the tattoo. So did you get the tattoo in memory of him?
No, I'm planning on getting one.
He says to me, let him know that I am going to be with him on that day.
Oh.
because he just showed me like you going through a book and trying to figure out what you're going to get in memory of your dad. I know what you're going to get because your dad shows me. He shows me you getting his name right on you. He goes, I would tell him not to get it, but I know he's going to do it anyway. He's acknowledging that. He also wants to tell me that he knows you kept the truck.
We tried to.
When you tried to keep that, your dad sees that. He says, and when you tried to keep that after his passing, know that your dad says, listen, don't be upset. He goes, I want you to know that you don't need that to feel my soul around you. He says, I'm with you every day. I am watching over you. And every day that goes by, I'm there and by your side. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.